The movie this week is Unbroken. And Nick, I believe this was your pick.
Yes, it was. Unbroken stars Jack O'Connell of Skins fame, the UK show that is like Freaks and Geeks, but
I've
for the
never
UK.
seen this guy before.
He's on the show Skins, and it basically launched the careers of a bunch of British actors.
Okay.
It's one of those shows.
Got it.
He's also in 28 Years Later in Sinners, so he's had a really good 2025.
He's in Sinners? What do you play in Sinners?
Vampire. The first guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The main guy. Yeah.
He was a vampire that didn't last long.
Right. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry, spoilers for a great movie. He plays Louis Zamperini. It's based off of the Olympic athlete. He was in Germany for the Olympics in 1938. 36. And then he ended up joining the World War II war effort. He was a bombardier on a B-24.
That's right.
My favorite bomber.
It's a pretty good
World
one.
War II.
Pretty good.
They're stationed over the Pacific. They get shot down. They're in a raft for over a month, and then they get captured by the Japanese, and then they're forced into a Japanese work camp, and it's just kind of showing how he survived all of that.
I had no idea.
I would be broken, by the way. Just want you to know.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would be broken. I don't know what point I'd be broken, but probably when everybody was punching me.
I did not know that this was a true life story until afterwards.
I saw what's her name? The woman who produced it.
Angelina Jolie.
I saw her on Good Morning America talking about this when she was first making it.
There's also a Coen Brothers movie. They worked together.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
The one thing that it stood out to me, I really felt the torture.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I mean, because this isn't your typical war movie where there's a lot of fighting scenes. There's really no fighting scenes outside of the very beginning when they're doing their bombing mission. But the torture and it's one particular, at the time he was, I think, a corporal and then eventually got promoted, but he was this one particular person at the Japanese prison camp.
Watanabe?
Yes, who was the bird, who was particularly nasty.
Yeah.
And he had it out. He had it out for Louis, the main character. And I don't know what you thought, Kent, but I've seen other movies before where there's obviously been prisoner of war or things like this. For some reason, I'm sitting there, I'm getting angry watching this.
Yeah. Because
this dude is just getting abused. I mean, at one point, he has the bird has the entire rest of the prisoners punch Louis in the face because he wouldn't turn against the United States and create propaganda messages for Japanese radio.
Yep.
What I thought then, when it first came out, was almost exacerbated by watching it a second time.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote, the word I used then to describe it was grueling. Watching it was, and it's because of the torture, of course. And this was not research I did, so I don't know where I stole this from, but somebody wrote that 45 minutes of the 2 hour and 15-minute movie is either him getting beat up or recovering from getting beat up.
Oh, wow.
So
I'm not surprised.
A third of the movie is that. And to me, it was actually too much. Overall, when I reviewed it, we were doing letter grades, and I gave it a C+. And I don't think I would change that this time. Maybe a little harsh, but here's maybe one of the reasons. This movie, when it came out, was pushed as an Oscar movie, right? Okay. Oscar bait kind of movie.
Sure.
And it's perfectly competently made, but it certainly doesn't reach that kind of standard. And so I kind of this time watched it to kind of go, why? And part of it is really the screenplay. A, it's too long, but B, it's really the screenplay that the Coen brothers are credited as writing, but there are two other guys credited with the screenplay. Magic Rule.
Mm-hmm. More than three.
it's going to be not so great, and there's more than 3. And this was, I think, only her second movie directing Angelina Jolie's, and she's not a great director, as she has subsequently proven with this. She wrote and directed and co-starred with Brad Pitt in a real piece of crap called By the Sea or something that was like 3 or 4 years later.
Kent, and I know it's not a sports movie, but where do you rank the racing movies when making a sports movie? Because I mean, I think some of my, like Breaking Away is one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. It's bike racing. There's been a lot of racing movies as well in terms
Chariots
of
Fire.
Chariots of Fire was boring.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, movies like that, where do you kind of rank the racing movies with the other sports movies? Because they seem like they'd be easier to make than a football movie or a basketball movie.
And you mean like running racing movies?
Yeah, I mean,
or
I
bikes
think all
not,
racing
you don't
movies.
mean car racing movies.
Oh no, not car racing. I either mean bike racing or running,
Right.
cross country or sprinting, those kind of movies. Because like I said, Breaking Away, when I saw that, I probably watched that movie 25 times. I love it. But
Me too.
Those kinds of movies I like when you got, people who come out of nowhere. There was that one movie about that Native American tribe that ran long distance, and I think Kevin Costner became like their coach or whatever. I like those kind of movies. Where do you kind of rank those among the sports movies?
Well, I like Breaking Away a lot.
Yep.
The one that people don't really think about much, there's a movie about Steve Prefontaine.
Oh yeah. Good.
I can't remember what it was called.
Isn't it called Pre?
I think it was called Pre. That was what I was going to say. And then I'm like, that can't be right. But I thought that movie was really good. Chariots of Fire is a really good movie. Trying to think what other sort of track related. There's a Jesse Owens picture, and I can't remember the name of it. So give me 2 seconds here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that there is something though that ties in with war and sports. Like remember Victory with the soccer game?
Yes.
So like, tying in, what was the humanity you had left in you? Sports is something you could always kind of fall back on, despite the fact that you're in the middle of the worst war we've had. It's kind of weird the way those movies work sometimes.
And there was some of the running in it, but to me,
that's kind of why he could last, right? I mean,
right. And so I
guy.
wonder if it would have been a little better if there would have been a little more emphasis on his running or on his sport.
It's called Prefontaine.
Right. But I wonder if there was, if it might have, because most of the flashback scenes all happen in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah. When he was
Yes. And then like you said, Kent, there's 45 solid minutes. And if you count when they're on the raft, surviving out in the ocean,
which is also its own kind of torture.
I mean, from that point to the very end, it's nonstop, just stress.
And it's probably an hour or more of that.
Yes.
Put the raft in. Yep. The name of that movie is Race, the Jesse Owens movie, and a Canadian movie from like 10 years ago, so it didn't get widely distributed, but it's really good.
Sorry, Ken.
Go ahead. No.
Something that I appreciated about this movie is, and I'm sure I haven't seen every World War II movie, but I feel like of the ones I've seen, they don't really focus on the Pacific, and they especially don't really focus on being in a prison camp in Japan proper, like in Tokyo or the Tokyo area on the mainland. And then when the Radio Tokyo people took him, and you kind of saw 1940s Tokyo during the war. I feel like you don't see media like that. Like, I feel like I don't see pre-war Tokyo like I saw in Godzilla, the new Godzilla movie. But I feel like that was an interesting angle to take just from a pure setting standpoint.
If you prisoner of war camp in the East, Bridge over the River Kwai.
Yeah, solid movie. Yes.
And what was the Spielberg?
Oh yeah.
I can see the poster for it. It's red with a sun on it, and
Emperor's Son or something like that.
Empire of the Sun.
Yeah.
And that was set in Japan, pre and post war Japan.
Yeah, at the South, the road to Tokyo doesn't get anywhere near the attention that the road to Munich did, or Berlin, or whatever else. It just doesn't. Even when you go to the World War II Museum, most people always go to the Germany one, opposed to I don't know why. You just see it happen,
which is crazy.
But they're both incredibly interesting.
The Pacific Theater it's
amazing. The island hopping part of the war, when you walk through that in New Orleans in the World War II Museum, it's incredible. The choices they made, the sacrifices that they made.
I would agree.
It was incredible.
It took until the Ken Burns documentary before I really got a great grasp of the Pacific Theater, right? Because basically all you knew about the Pacific Theater, or at least all I knew about the Pacific Theater, was Pearl Harbor, Midway, and then
Nagasaki and Hiroshima,
and that was it.
Yep.
And you're right. The attention that's paid to the European theater, even though technically, remember, the Germans didn't bomb, unlike John Belushi, the Germans didn't bomb Pearl Harbor, the Japanese did. So you would think that would have gotten a little more attention, but it didn't. I wonder why that is.
Even growing up, like I had a little more exposure to it. I feel just because I have my dad's a World War II boat enthusiast. He loves like naval ships and vessels. So like I had a bit of that growing up just from him.
He needs to go to the World War II Museum.
He
in New
would
Orleans.
love that.
There's a Higgins boat when you first walk in.
And then, but my actual exposure to that, and probably most of my generation, was Call of Duty World at War, because that that game splits you. You're a character in the Pacific Theater, and then you're also a character, a Russian on the European theater. So you're not even going through like the American European theater. You're going through like Stalingrad and stuff.
Right.
But other than that kind of media, then like the Pacific came out by the people who made Band of Brothers.
Correct.
Yeah.
But there's, like you guys have said, there's not really that much media about it for some reason.
There isn't.
Now, well, there was a Midway movie.
We missed that one.
So you don't think of it in the same way, but this is a small, story. PT 109 about John F. Kennedy and the PT boat he was on, which was in somewhere in the Pacific.
What was that movie from the 80s, I think, where it was about that battleship
Countdown
carrier that got sent
goes
back
to the
in
future?
time?
Oh, that was so awesome. It's Countdown to Midway, or
I think that's right. Countdown to
something.
Yeah, and I thought it was about a modern ship that got sent back to the Pacific Theater.
Right, that's exactly right. Yes, and how they use
my dad loves
how they
that
can
movie.
use the equipment.
But it's fascinating because, and I'm not saying the European theater wasn't violent, because obviously it was, but it seemed like the ferocity in the Pacific.
They were fighting for not a king. They were fighting for someone who was given the power by God.
Correct.
To lead them.
But they're just, the fact that the Japanese would never surrender.
Nope.
No.
They would fight to the very last man.
Or kill them.
And you hear about, the terrible things that happen on the island. It's crazy because that theater seemed more dramatic from that standpoint, yet it didn't get nearly as much attention as the European theater.
And here's why. You got to go back to when these movies were made.
Sure.
Right? The first World War II movies really started getting made in the late 1940s, early 1950s. They're not going to be making location movies.
Right.
You can't really do the Pacific Theater justice shooting it in LA or anywhere in the US. It's not right. They weren't doing location movies. They were doing, all those World War II, famous World War II movies, most of them were shot in California, right? I mean, it's just this
1942
reality of production at the time, number one. Number two, in a very odd sense, the European war became dominant, prominent, because that was where the media coverage was.
Sure.
Most of it, right?
Yeah.
And then the short time between the end of hostilities in Europe and the end of the war wasn't enough to sort of balance that out in the coverage. But I think that was a lot of it. All the coverage was focused there in part because of the communications, right? You had, even Cronkite was over there, but you had Edward Murrow.
Ernie Pyle was there taking all pictures.
Those people sending stuff back from Europe. So I think those are the core reasons that the European theater became the focus for movies.
Sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I like seeing a Nazi get shot as much as the next guy, but there's a whole bunch of things happening. You know?
I think I prefer World War I movies to World War II movies.
World War I
Really?
movies
I
are
really
awesome.
do. I think so. So what's the one where the guy was a conscientious objector?
Mhm.
What was that one recently? Something Hill.
Yeah.
That movie I love, and I just recently watched it again. It's great. 1918, 1917, all those movies.
1917 is incredible.
Incredible movies.
Here's your connection. Roger Deakins, who shot 1917, the great cinematographer,
Yeah.
was cinematographer here on Unbroken.
Oh, incredible.
Oh wow. Italian action.
No, but I'm with you. World War I is interesting just from
and there's been a few of them that I've seen that are smaller that I really like too.
just seeing like over the course of that war how the technology was forced
Mhm.
to just
yeah.
evolve
Yeah.
over the course of that whole thing.
There's a documentary that's made just about this one patch of land that the Americans and the British and the Germans were fighting over.
Mhm.
And they ended up both deciding we were going to build tunnels
Mhm.
because you couldn't go over, and they were tunneling right next to each other.
But
The same technology that's in my oldest son's hearing aid was used to use listening devices to those people who were tunneling through, listening for the other
Really?
people, so they could try to avoid them. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, the same technology. That's where it was kind of first figured out how to be able to listen using these bone conduction type of hearing aids. Yeah.
Did you watch any of the Peter Jackson documentary footage, real footage from World War I that he restored?
Probably. Me and my youngest watch all the war stuff that we can.
Okay.
So we watch all the new colorized stuff that they just put out there about Hitler and the bomb and all that. And so we probably did.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know what it is about World War I, but it's more interesting to me now at this age than World War II is.
I have I kind of had the opposite. My grandfather was in World War I.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so, well, that's overstating. He was in the army and ended up in France during World War I.
Okay.
But he drove a cart with horses, right? They still used horses.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah.
Well, he came off the farm in Nebraska, so he was in the horse patrol and never came close to the front lines.
Good for him.
That's
why
he was in France, but he was not in the war.
Yeah.
But I've always been interested in it because of that.
My dad was 7 when World War I started. That's how old my father was.
That's right. Yeah, because your father was pretty old.
Yeah, pretty old. Yeah.
So that is Unbroken. Any other final thoughts on?
Well, I would say that movie was called The Final Countdown, where the
ship goes
carrier
back in time.
goes back to the day before Pearl Harbor.
My dad loves that
It's
movie.
really good. It's really weird, and the sound that it makes when it's doing the thing is really strange.
If you have a World War II naval dad, they will love that movie.
It's good. Yeah.
I like this movie a lot. I thought it was interesting.
The review surprised me. I didn't realize that it was that. It's like 53% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was bad.
Metacritic.
I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was a little. It leaned a little too much into the torture. It felt fatiguing by the end.
And parts of me were I'm not going to say there wasn't enough torture, but the torture wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. Because like you hear about the bamboo torture where they would put people on beds of bamboo and let it grow, or you hear about them peeling fingernails. Which you saw one of the characters had happened to them, but you didn't see it happen. I was expecting that kind of torture, not the torture that we got, which I mean, I'm thankful for. We didn't get that extreme violent stuff, but I was expecting a lot worse. So I guess it didn't bother me that much. It didn't feel grueling to me. It was just,
the only time I've ever felt that way, like I had to leave a movie, was The Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
That one, it went, when it got to the 15-20 minute mark, I was like, okay, please.
Enough. We're done.
That's enough. Come on, please. Let us end this.
End it now.
Yes.
I had the misfortune of seeing that thing twice in 4 days.
Oh my God, that was painful.
Yeah.
There was a group of elementary school kids in front of us.
Oh no! At the Passion of the
Christ brought the class. It was like 17 of them. My wife and I still talk about it. We can't believe it. They stayed too the whole time.
That's unbelievable.
I know, it was crazy.
The reason it got more negative reviews than you would have thought is
what
I brought up before. they were hyping the crap out of this thing as a
Okay.
prestige Oscar movie, and
Sure.
so they set their own bar and got the review.
This is the
Understandable.
next Saving Private
Yeah,
Ryan
understandable.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.